and welcome to the Enchantress Society with Tia Johnson, a place where you get to be you, where you get to unlock your magic in a sacred and judgment-free zone. The Enchantress Society is your witchy sisterhood of enchanting women who guides and supports you along your spiritual journey from the mundane to the magical. I invite you to sit for a spell as I interview guests and spill the spiritual tea on how we can create the magical life we deserve. Hello, Enchantress. I hope you are doing well. I hope that you have been having a lovely week, a great day, and if not, may the tides turn in your favor. All right, Witch's Pyramid. I haven't used this in a while, and you'll see that this is something that you can use throughout the year or just as you get started, and then maybe your path will change and you're good. You only have to use this a few times. So before we get into all that sauce, if we are not connected on Instagram, let's make magic happen and get connected. I am at cosmic_witch_goddess. And the podcast Instagram is enchantress_society_podcast. And also, I forget to do this, and my project manager reminds me on a regular basis. Please rate the show. I'm going to say what my accounting professor used to say when it came to grading how my professor, give me a high five. High five, right? All right. So I would appreciate that. It helps other people to find me and all that jazz. All right. So the Witch's Pyramid, the information I'm going to be reading in here is from one of my favorite books, The Ultimate Book of Shadows for the New Generation, Solitary Witch by Silver Raven Wolf. I reference this book many times, and if you were to see this book, you will see a bunch of tabs in here in different colors, of course. Sticky notes in different colors, of course, and writings in different color ink, of course. This is a great reference book, and I highly recommend that you get it if you don't already have it. All right, so as it states in the book, the Witch's Pyramid in some craft circles, the Witch's Pyramid is known as the four powers of the Magus, or the four secrets of the Sphinx, whose energy is considered to be the foundation and four pillars of all practical and esoteric magic. Whether you are conjuring the weather for a great day at the beach or concentrating on empowering the witch within, the basic building blocks are always the same. And now we're going to get to the points. To know, to dare, to will, and to be silent. Okay, so if you were to Google Witch's Pyramid, which is WITCH', you will see a pyramid with these words at each point. In this book, it's a pentacle, and it explains each point. So we're going to get into all that in a few. Alrighty, so when the four powers are gathered together, then the fifth sacred power occurs, that of quintessence or spirit. So you have to know, to dare, to will, and to be silent. And when all that comes together, there's that connection with spirit, which represents the top of the pyramid. Okay. And it has a meaning of to go, the movement of the energy towards manifestation guided by the hand of the witch. And when it states here, guided by the hand of the witch, that's when you go to draw the pentacle with your finger, or you can write it out on a sheet of paper and write to dare, to will, to know. I'll get into the exercise in a moment. All right. So without this solid foundation, those four corners of magic, and this is also not to be mistaken with the elemental quarters. Okay. This is the cone of power, if you will, where you are able to draw in that energy and then send it out. So before I go further, and you may be thinking, yeah, but what is it? Based on what I said, I want you to just take a few moments and get a feel for what you think this is. Because these 4 points are asking something of you, okay? For you to enhance and strengthen your connection with spirit, your higher self, all that jazz. So really, this is a commitment to yourself. And within that commitment, you're acknowledging what you need to know, what you need to dare, what you need to will, and when to be silent. And to be silent is with self, so you can hear spirit. You know, when you just have so much going on in your mind, and sometimes you just got to go to the beach to get cleansed, mentally, spiritually. Or maybe your thing is just going golfing. It's just something about it just clears your mind. That's when you get to be silent, walking in a park, a forest, wooded area, and it's just so calming for your mind. And that's where you receive the messages. You receive the nudges on next steps. It can even be in your shower. Okay. So it's a commitment. The oath you take upon seeking entry into the craft. Okay. So no matter what your craft, these are some of the foundations that you are implementing in your life. So that is the foundation of the witch's pyramid. Those 4 points, and then that coming together for spirit. Now, breaking it down, the to know, etc. To know means that you will strive to learn as much as you can in this lifetime, and that you will apply the knowledge to your daily life. It also means that you will seek truth in all things and be willing to change your perceptions to meet your awakening spirituality. So being open-minded, always seeking knowledge. Okay, we have seen in these past couple of years people who are dedicated, committed to getting one form of information from one source, or wanting to believe information from one source. Okay, that's why some people are in their villain era right now. They're owning it. If people want to believe that story without hearing the other side, giving the person the benefit of the doubt, whatever the case may be, okay, then they're not changing. They are not being open to that change of perception for whatever reason. They don't want to hear your story. They don't care, whatever. So your ability to strive to learn, that continual force within, will help you seek the truth from within as well. This is why these points are so important. So when you are imagining the pentacle, the 5-pointed star that you can draw on a sheet of paper, you can get a Google image and meditate on it, or you can type in witch's pyramid. I was going to say printed, but who has a printer at home anymore? Or get an actual pyramid shaped crystal, meditate on it. Okay. And just look at one point and think to know. And then you can have a notepad beside you and think, what do I need to know? Where do I need to strive to learn? Maybe it's to know your spiritual gifts. Maybe you haven't dived into it. You know, maybe you were a little nervous in the past, but now you're ready. Maybe it's to know radical self-love, to know how to be happy, finding your own happiness. So meditate on that to know part. Next, to dare. I'm already feeling the fire energy. To dare says that you have pushed fear beyond you and that you will be courageous and proactive in all that you do. You will believe in yourself and have faith in the universe and in your own abilities. I was having a conversation, I think it's with my brother. I had this conversation with so many people, so it doesn't even matter. Anyway, that pushing through, this is about having grit and faith, not blind faith. Faith, grit. And what I noticed is that there are, or it seems to be, more people have less grit, less and less grit over the years. And I remember thinking as a kid, oh, we're going to live like the Jetsons. We are going to be so futuristic, and then it was the whole Y2K, unplug your computers. I did that. And here it is, 2022, and we're still fighting for female autonomy, among other things. Yeah. So anyway, reeling that back in, to dare to go, to be, to push forward. And it seems like with the technology that's readily available, or more technology that's readily available, people seem to want to find the easy way out. Not all, of course, but it seems to be this trend. And when I spoke with several people, they also noticed this. It seems like they're relying on certain apps, certain photos, certain connections, as opposed to honing in on their own talent, as opposed to being that individual. I don't care if you're all talking about the same thing. I don't care if 5 people are talking about crystal healing. You each will have a different vibe, a different aspect of teaching it, a different school of thought. Okay, someone may combine crystals with sex magic, and they're a sex magic crystal witch. All right. So one may combine crystals and make water and, use it as they cook and stuff. So it doesn't matter. Okay. But people just seem to not have that grit. And sometimes it is the programming. It's not just that people don't want to do the hard work. Sometimes it's that's how men are, you got to hang in there, tradition, they start to groom you to think that everything is acceptable. And so they also convince you that there's nothing better out there. Like when people try to convince you to stay at a job that is quite unhealthy for you, don't appreciate you, none of that. And they try to convince you, oh, well, good luck finding something more than that. And it's like, well, yeah, exactly. That's why I got my resume together. That's why I practice doing mock interviews with people, because I'm going to go find it. Why not? Why isn't it out there? Especially when you hear about the most obscure jobs, careers, ways of making money, like selling feet pictures on Instagram or whatever. I'm like, that's a thing? I was like, what? So especially when the craziest things that you would never think of, you can do to make money. So there is something out there. There's something, you just got to find it and see if that thing is for you. And that comes when you dare yourself to be more, to challenge more, to keep going. And that's how you find yourself. Those bumps and bruises, being durable, that's preparation for the next level. Because imagine you're at that next level, you get a little bruise, a little hiccup in the road, and it's like, oh my God, right? But what if these were dress rehearsals? What if these were dress rehearsals for when something does happen on a larger scale, you can apply all those things you learn because you have experience and wisdom, because you dared yourself to do more, go more, be more. When I say be more, I'm not saying that in a demeaning sense. Okay. For those of you who are possibly new to the podcast, those who've been around know exactly what I mean. When I say that, I mean to just bring the 2.0, 3.0, 4.0 version. You keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay. So ask yourself, where do I need to dare? It's okay to be fearful. Feel that and make fear your friend, or own it. However you choose to deal with it, hush it, put it to sleep, and go for it. Okay. The parts that are for your personal growth, your expansion, your ability to thrive in life. Okay. I spent a lot of time on that, but to dare is huge. To will means that you will learn to focus your thoughts and practice meditation and visualization in order to reach your goals. It means that you won't sit back and let the world pass you by. You will work towards your dreams. You will meet obstacles and find positive solutions to overcome them. Yeah, you have to be willing. You have to be willing to go the extra mile. You have to be willing to put yourself out there. It doesn't always have to be comfortable. And yeah, like that's what it's going to be until you do get comfortable. And guess what? Now it's time to level up. I always make this video game reference because I just love video games. And so my gamers out there can relate to this. And the story still applies, just hang tight. So when you're playing a video game, you have to finish that level. If it's not an open world concept, you can't do whatever you want to do. You have to finish it. You have to go back and keep trying. And say you have 3 lives and you use all the lives, then you have to wait until it replenishes, right? And that's a timer. Sometimes it's 5 minutes. Okay, and you can come back, try again. In life, when we try, and it doesn't work, we need to go replenish. We need to be willing to understand what's working, what's not working, the redundancies that are happening. Are we pretending things are working, trying to convince ourselves, or are we just finally done and we're willing to be that change? And because it's all building blocks, we have to finish a level to get to the next level of life and the next level. Okay. And when you look back, you understand if you were exposed to something at a level when you weren't ready, it's going to be harder to appreciate and maintain it. Not saying it can't be done, it's just going to be harder. You have to see the value and see so much more to really grasp it, respect it, and so forth. All right. So that is to will. So focus on your practice. Okay. Your form of meditation. How you visualize to reach your goals. Visualization is such a huge factor in this process. And in doing so, you're going to be more receptive to receiving messages, signs, symbols to help you overcome those challenges. Next, to be silent is perhaps the most important. It means that you will keep your mouth shut about the magic that you do. I like this. It's a bit twofold because sometimes you do want to talk about some of the magic that you do. It's exciting, it's fun, and have discernment. You can talk about one of the spells you did that is a bit more lighthearted, not too personal. Okay, there is power in silence because you are preserving the potency of the spell. You are being calm and centered with yourself. So you're silent with self, so you are more receptive to hearing. And you are providing a certain level of boundaries and privacy. that's needed in life in general. All right. And finally, to go. And remember, this is the spirit point. This is when all four come together. And it kind of reminds me of uh, the cartoon back in the day, Captain Planet. And I'm going to explain why after I talk about to go. To go means that you will master the four pillars, those energies, to will, to know, to be silent, to dare. The base of the pyramid, all those. And this is the ultimate meaning of that oath that you're making. Okay. Now, when I say Captain Planet, if you remember back in the day, each of the teenagers had an element. And when their powers combined, Captain Planet, he was like the pinnacle, right? The height of it when they combine their powers. And here, each element is associated with a point of the star or the pyramid and with the pillars. So to will is associated with fire. To know, air, and that makes sense because to know you're gaining wisdom. Earth, to be silent, still, strong foundations there. And to dare is water. So to go is spirit. So let's go over an exercise you can do for this. And as you're meditating, you can use this witch's pyramid for many things. So if you're thinking, okay, but how can I use this for love, for manifesting money and so forth? This is when you ask yourself, what do I need to know about money? Where do I need to dare yourself a situation and to will, to be silent? This is where you start asking yourself and remember these definitions and start to think, start to meditate, start to visualize. So let's start with to know. Air is the element. An exercise you can do after you draw the pentacle, or again, looking at the pyramid, and there are ways you can draw it in particular. I'm going to leave that up to you because there's many ways you can do this, and I don't want to be restrictive. So get creative with it. Make sure you have fun. That is another factor that fuels your spells. All right. So let's say you're focusing on the point to know, and the element is air. You can be in connection with air while you're at the beach, visualizing, meditating. Open up your window. Let the air in. Use symbols for air, colors for air. And while you're meditating, you're clearing your mind. You're focusing on that point, or just focusing on to know, to know, to know. And you can be repetitive with that. What do I need to know? To know, what's the path to knowing? Where do I need to strive to learn? Where do I need to change my perceptions? Maybe you need to change your money perceptions. So take deep breaths. You can combine this with breathing exercises. So you're clearing your mind. You're focusing on what you need to know about changing money perspectives, bringing in more abundance. Deep breath. Let the breezes come in. Let it swirl around you. Imagine the air swirling around you. Imagine that element of air giving you messages. And pay attention to how you feel, what you're thinking, what you're seeing. If you hear a ring, when you open your eyes, what's the first thing you notice? Take note of all of that. You can also, if you want to take it up a notch, get a tarot deck and use the suit that represents air. I believe is wands. No, swords. Wands represent fire. So you can use just that suit, shuffle it, pull 3 cards, for insight, to dare, and that's water. So if you want to push beyond something that you're being fearful of, I'm thinking about the interview Bruce Lee did, where he said to empty your mind, flow like water, be like water. When you are challenging something, you do need to be flexible. You need to be able to adapt. And I'm also thinking about in high school, and when we were talking about liquids and how it takes form in whatever container it's in, adapting. Where do you need to adapt in life? Push yourself to adapt to a new lifestyle and be like that water. This can also mean you need to drink more water, okay? Get connected to water. Use the water suit and the tarot. Shuffle, pull a couple of cards. Okay, because being courageous, as it states here, to dare, means also thinking outside the box many times. Okay? So being flexible, being adaptive, all that will help you with that. To will, fire. As it states here, to focus your thoughts, practice meditation, visualization. You can get a candle and focus on the fire, the flames. Just being able to center your thoughts, visualize strategies. Fire is really good for that because one of its symbols or correspondences include illumination. So illuminating the path. What's my strategic path? You may see a flame move a certain way. You may just get a thought because you're so focused, just centering your thoughts on this fire, opening yourself to transformation, being in sync with that energy. So again, you can use a candle, you can have a bonfire, all right? Pull the wands suit in the tarot and get some answers. And last, earth, to be silent. So earth, foundations, silent. I'm just thinking of something sturdy, something that is older and knowledgeable, like a old oak tree. Like I'm just getting this vision of like the strong tree trunk and just the knowledge, the depths. So you may want to go hiking and get connected with the trees, the area. You may want to go to a park and have a cup of coffee, sit on a bench, sip it, listen to the sounds, get connected with the area. And then you ask your question. Where do I need to slow down? Where do I need to be silent and receive? Where do I need to be more protective? Right? Because this is also about not sharing everything about yourself. And start to focus on your feelings and so forth, just as I was saying earlier with the other pillars. And then the spirit, that just basically comes together, right? However you receive messages, you're clairvoyant, clairsentient, or different symbols, because you'll see that with the other points. So that's pretty much self-explanatory. All right. That was a lot. But here's the thing. This is another way to make a commitment to yourself. And when we have these strong foundations, we are able to not just navigate life better, we are able to disconnect from certain things in a healthy way, understand every battle is not for us, understand how we can help, understand how to protect our peace, our happiness. Okay, we just start to get a lot of things. And we just see magic even more. It's just like that saying goes, people who, and I'm paraphrasing, people who don't look for it will never find it. And you'll see just how much your world will change and how far you will be from where you started. Just as a beautiful thing, right? Because we are always thankful for our past selves. They got us here. I treat old versions of myself like my ancestors. I'm like, thank you, past Tia, right? So it's not about knocking the old us. No. It's about appreciating and understanding and appreciating the growth. So having these foundations, I am huge. I'm such an advocate for foundations because it's needed. And as long as we stay committed to ourselves, we will be so greater than we can ever imagine. So imagine yourself now as already whole, already complete, already amazing. And then it just gets better and better and better and better from there. It's like winning the lottery and then you just keep on winning, right? Because you already are amazing. Okay. You've come this far in life. You are awesome. Now let's continue that. Let's up the ante. Let's keep it going. And having these foundations will get you there and maintain that. Because things will creep back up. There's going to be a full moon in something that's going to bring up something from the past. Saturn is going to come to teach us something again. All right. So we have to be equipped to, in some ways, yank ourselves back when we fall a little bit to the wayside sometimes. Okay. So start making commitments to yourself. Start understanding how you are showing up in the world, working with your foundational, non-negotiable standards, your qualities. So I encourage you to get the book. This is not a promo. Get the book, concentrate on this for a while, write it out, get familiar with it, and give yourself that space and grace for the growth. All right. I am sending you lots of love, so many blessings. I'm rooting for you. Be kind to yourself. Until next time. Thank you so much for tuning in, Magical One. Let's keep in touch. Join the VIP email list by going to tiamariejohnson.com. And as always, I'm sending you lots of love, many blessings. I'm rooting for you. And remember to be kind to yourself. Until next time.